Today, Steam is axing Greenlight, so that means only good games forever now, right? This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint, where here in British Columbia it's Family Day. But don't worry, gaming news doesn't take holidays and neither does CheckPoint. We're here with hard-hitting industry insights every week, no matter what.
On an unrelated note, CheckPoint will be away next week, but not for a holiday.
Activision has said that next year's Call of Duty will see the series go, quote, back to its roots. And whether that means the in-game setting of World War II or the meta angle of not being such a ludicrous spectacle is unclear, but either way, this game was greenlit 2 years ago and has nothing to do with the disappointing sales of Call of Duty's latest title, Infinite Warfare. Yes, disappointing. With 6.5 million sales in 2.5 months, Activision feels the game, quote, underperformed, and demonstrated that the game's space setting, quote, didn't resonate for a portion of their audience. Maybe, Activision, it wasn't that the game was set in space. Maybe it was your avaricious bundling of Modern Warfare Remastered, or your lack of gameplay innovation despite yearly releases. Maybe the problem in this year's Call of Duty didn't resonate with a portion of our audience is the phrase, this year's Call of Duty.
By now, I'm sure you've heard that Resident Evil 7 marks the series' triumphant return to actual scariness, but maybe not so much in Japan, where it turns out a lot of the game's goriest parts have been censored, which is interesting because that's Japan, where Takashi Miike is from. And here's your warning, there's spoilers ahead. First of all, when your hand gets cut off, you bleed black ichor in the Japanese version rather than blood. And instead of having to root around inside a mutated corpse for a key item, it's been helpfully placed beside the body, making it less scary, but more considerate. But most strange of all, instead of having to find a mutated head in the fridge and then read a note taped to the back to find a clue, instead you just get a photo of the dead guy with a red X drawn on it, making the whole experience less like mutant horror and more angry high school drama. Ooh, actually, can we petition to have this version of the game released in North America? I'd actually much rather play that one.
It wouldn't be a game on a new Nintendo system without a hokey mode that shows off the new tech, so Ultra Street Fighter 2 for Nintendo Switch has a first-person mode called Unleash Hadouken! There's exclamation marks after each word. That seems like it might be kind of a rail shooter where you just fire Hadoukens at random Shadaloo soldiers with the Joy-Con. Unrelated, Shadaloo sounds like a super not scary name for a secret evil organization, right? Anyway, this mode seems kind of silly.
Steam is finally pitching its Greenlight system into the sea where it belongs. Sometime this spring, developers hoping to launch titles on Steam won't have to try and rally up community support to get their games voted in. They'll just have to pay a per-game submission fee as part of a new system called Steam Direct. Now, parts of this change are good. You might recall that Greenlight back in the day was supposed to open up the submission process to more people while ensuring only quality titles with some amount of community curation would be approved for the virtual storefront. In practice, however, Greenlight was just a release purgatory where games would languish, while Steam's library still filled with thousands of barely functional zombie shooters constructed from flimsy piles of Unity asset flips, awful controls, and unintelligible plots. Which was great if you're trying to do a bi-monthly streaming show about the worst games imaginable, but bad if you're actually trying to find games buried within the steaming shit pile that Steam has become. So, rather than try to actually curate submissions, a prospect that would have been difficult and expensive, Valve's new solution is to implement a per-game fee that developers will have to pay to get a game online, which is easy and profitable considering the rumors are that the fee will be somewhere between $200 and $5,000. So will this stop shovelware? Well, not unless the price is real high, which that just prices out devs who might have a great game but don't have an extra 4 figures just laying around. Rumor has it that Valve could do some sort of compromised recoupable fee, but all that means is that after paying to develop your game and then paying to get it onto Steam, you don't actually make any money until you've earned back your submission fee, which is a real raw deal for indies, the very class of developers who benefit the most from getting their games onto Steam in the first place. Now, we still don't have all the details about what Steam Direct will be, how it will work, or what it will cost, but people are still real angry and worked up about it, so it's just another day for Steam, I guess.
A new Kickstarter for the Gameband has already doubled its funding goal with 31 days remaining in the campaign, promising to be a smartwatch for gamers. We bring it up mostly because a big part of the marketing surrounds their partnership with Atari, and we delight in reminding you that the withered husk currently calling itself Atari is about 10 companies removed from the original and is currently a board of directors in France whose stated business model is trying to leverage nostalgia into profits by licensing the Atari name. The people who make Terraria are also involved, so that's nice. And to be clear, we're not saying this watch is a scam or anything, just maybe consider if the potential to play asteroids on your wrist is worth $200.
Well, you have an Apple Watch. Have you ever played games on that?
No, why would I play games on my watch when I can use my phone, which has a bigger screen?
But what if you get a phone call?
That's what the banana phone is for.
Coming up, in the tradition of Miss Pac-Man, Konami has announced an arcade title based on Bomberman called Bomber Girl, and it's way more anime than anyone was expecting, like a lot more.
Why does CheckPoint always go into the butt talk? I don't know, man. Butts are funny.